everybody, this is Speech Cricket, and today is a video that you have been waiting for. I am finally going to give you the results of my 23andMe DNA test. Now, it's a little different than the Ancestry one that I did before this one, and I'm going to explain everything to you so that you understand the how 23andMe works, and I'll let you know the differences with Ancestry as I'm explaining it to you. So here we go. It's going to be informative so that you can learn a little bit about 23andMe. And also, I bought the one that has the health traits with it, and that's very interesting. So you'll be very interested to learn about that facet of 23andMe. So here we go. Stay tuned. Here it comes. Well, it's time to find out what my 23andMe results are. I know what they are. I've had them for a while. I just haven't shared them with you yet. So let's find out. Okie dokie. There's where I come from. There's some added new ones that I didn't have in my Ancestry.com DNA test. Now it shows that I am 99.7% European, and it breaks it down to British and Irish, and it has some other regions in there, French and German, broadly Northwestern European and Southern European, and this is a new one. I have 2.2 Italian, and I did not know about that. So we're going to break that down. So hang on just a sec. Now, what I find really interesting with this is how they break it all down. Um, this one shows that I have Irish in me, and Ancestry did not. And I also had Scottish in me, and it was real strong on the Ancestry showing that. So that was really kind of wild. And, they're all so close together, so I'm sure that's, part of it. Then on my French and German, it definitely has Switzerland, Belgium, and the Netherlands in there, and France, which really didn't have really a strong, showing on the other. And then the Italian part. And I know that I have that because I know of several that I have found on my trees working with them that have been detected in that area. Okay, the other one, let's see. No. I'm looking for, it's coming up. Not that. Oops, I'm going a little fast here. Let's see. We have the Eastern, broadly European. We're getting closer. On the trace ancestry, I didn't have any trace ancestry that I recall from the other one, and this is 0.3. And it shows that I have 0.2 North African, which is news to me. And so there was somebody along the way. And then here, the Indigenous American Native, there it comes. It's 0.1. And I went, aha, I knew it. I could always feel like I had some in me. I don't know why, but I always have. All the insights that I've had as far as feelings have come true. But anyway, I felt kind of happy about that because I found Indians, and not just any Indians. I have found some Indians that were helpful with the Americans when they were coming over into all the settlements. They were up there in the Cape Cod area, and they were helpful in helping all the colonies. And so they were big time chiefs, and it's just amazing that is come to fact and come to the light. So it's awesome. Now, another thing that 23andMe does that I really like that Ancestry does not is they have this breakdown. They have the breakdown of your Neanderthal ancestry, and I was really surprised about that. I have 221 variants for that. It tells what your maternal haplogroup is, which mine is T2B1, and the composition, of course, is all right here on the side. Oops, I'm really going in and out. But I was really fascinated with that. And it's like when you click on to some of this, it's like it breaks it down. It says, hey, Christine, you have more Neanderthal DNA than 23% of other customers that they have. So, and then it explains what it means, and it's very fascinating. So for me, I have 2% Neanderthal DNA. So here's the breakdown of why and how, which is pretty interesting. In that whole aspect, I didn't even, think about Neanderthal. So it's pretty cool. It explains a lot of stuff. It's just amazing. And believe it or not, if you have Neanderthal DNA, you have two variants associated with having difficulty discarding rarely used possessions, and three variants being less likely to have a fear of heights. And you have one variant for being a better sprinter than distant runner, and then you have two variants that you being associated with having more dandruff. Which, when I was younger, that was true, but it's not now. This is really fascinating because they have markers testing for Neanderthal ancestry, and it's it's just crazy. Um, they have markers where you have two Neanderthal variants. And see, here's the whole schematic of it. I'm assuming that the blue are the variants, and markers where you have one or more Neanderthal variant, and then my total right here, variant total is 221 markers. So, wow, here we are showing you my Neanderthal. And what that is that it's a genetic variant that evolves when the Neanderthals came into the human lineage, and when the two groups interbred. And so I inherited variants from both of my parents, of course. So you can have markers from both, and that's how it works. So amazing. Got Neanderthal in me, baby. And another thing I like is they have a composition chromosome painting for you. You have your whole lineup here, and then there's the whole painting of what you are. That's just amazing. I also found this very interesting. They have a total of the ancestor birthplaces of of your ancestors, and like here it's broke down. United States is 699, United Kingdom got 23, 15 in Canada, 14 in Germany, 13 in Italy, Hungary 8, Poland 7, 5 Sweden, Ireland 4, Greece 3, Philippines 2, Switzerland 2, Spain 2, Mexico 2, Czech Republic 2, I don't know how do you say that, Latvia 2, Serbia 1, Malaysia 1, Puerto Rico 1, and Slovenia 1. So that's where they are. They're my ancestors' birthplaces are that are related to me DNA wise. And then I have all of my ancestors right here, and it tells what relationship they are and how much DNA that we share. Pretty cool. In my maternal haplogroup, which that's what I belong to, the T2B1, this was fascinating. Okay, it explains your haplogroup and how they migrated. And of course, it's on your maternal line, your mom, so it is really cool to see how that developed. And this is how it did. It started where the L is. We all started in Africa, and that's where it traced up. And it also tells you, according to the codes here, what the timeline was, how many years ago. So, pretty amazing. So, it explains the origin and the migration of them, how they got to where they were. And T2B1 is a relatively uncommon among a lot of the 23andMe customers, they say. And so it's 1 in 2,600 share that haplogroup. This was really fascinating to me. So the haplogroup um, is related to the Viking warrior, and they are sharing a really interesting story, which is actual fact, about a Viking warrior that was buried in the ship, the Viking ship. And when they did the testing, it was a lady. Pretty cool, huh? So this all talks about the mitochondrial DNA that you get from your maternal haplogroup, which is very fascinating. This really goes into a lot of education on this site that you didn't get on Ancestry. So I'm really pleased with my results. It's just fascinating. Now, another thing that's really nice is they had this Ancestry timeline where they can actually tell you where and what, as far as how, when they, how many generations ago were your most recent ancestors for each population. So from 1920 to 1860, the British and Irish and the French and German ancestors were in there. And then from the 1800s to the 1700s, that's where the Italian is. And the 1800s to the 1600s was the indigenous American. So I find that just so cool. Wow. So that's where my ancestors came from. That's a big spectrum, isn't it? I think a lot of people of European descent have the same kind of area. They kind of migrated, from one to the other. And with me having the Neanderthal and the Viking way back ancestors in my DNA, I could see them just floating around in the ships out there and going from one country to the other. But I find this is so amazing, and it's just fascinating to find out who you are and where you came from and what you're made of. So yeah, I really like how 23andMe explains everything about your ancestry. Now, when I bought my 23andMe Ancestry kit, I got the one with the health and traits so that I could discover what it says about my health. And so it explains that. And to my much happiness, there really wasn't but these three little problems. Um, for celiac disease, it is slightly increased risk. And this one right here, hereditary, for the HFE, There is a variant that's detected, but I'm not likely to be in an increased risk. And this one for the hereditary thrombosis, I don't know how you say that, but it's thrombosis, with your arteries. I'm slightly increased risk. So all these, I mean, there's a lot. They go through and they test all of these and what your carrier status is. There was one detected. Let's see, what was that one for? For SELA disease. I think this one just said that I have the variant on it, but I'm just a carrier. I can pass the variant on to my children, but this is a rare genetic disorder, and it's characterized by gradual loss of your muscle tone and coordination, as well as impaired growth, intellectual disability, and seizures. And a person has to have two variants in this gene in order to have this condition. So I just am a carrier, which is not that great to know that you have that, but at least you know. Now, the one that I have to be concerned with is the celiac disease, and this is an autoimmune condition, and it's pertaining to the gluten found in wheat, barley, and rye, and it can result in damage to the small intestine. So it can lead to digestive and non-digestive digestive problems, and so you just have to watch out for the gluten. And this is a relatively new one that a lot of people um, did not realize, about. And I have two copies of this genetic variant that they tested. So I do have a slightly increased risk of developing this celiac disease. So also lifestyle and other factors can affect you, it says. Now, this hereditary thrombophilia is pertaining to the disposition of developing harmful blood clots. And so, with this, you have to watch out because they can commonly form in the legs, and they can travel to the lungs. So, I do have one variant on this. Now, I do have, which very interesting with this is that I do have where my blood thickens, and the normal blood thinners do not work on me, and so I have to take simply aspirin, and it thins out my blood so that it will not thicken. I can tell when my blood thickens. I have noticed that all my life, and never knew what it was for, but what was going on with me, but I could tell something was going on, and normally I would get a little headache, and so as a child, just in elementary school, I started taking, when I felt like that, I just started taking aspirin. And then later in life, I found out that, yeah, my blood was thickening and causing that problem. So it's probably closely related to this. What I like about 23andMe, when you get the health and traits um, ancestry plan with it, it has an action plan, and it goes into each one. You can click onto each one that you're having the traits from, and you can find out what are the best ways to help you in preventing those different traits. Now, if you have ancestors that have taken the 23andMe, they will be linked to you, and so they have a little tree, and then you can put your information on what you know in here and find out how this person down here and this person right here are related through different people that you are related to. So that is really cool because because a lot of the reports they'll give you who you're related to, but you're like, how in the world? I don't know who they are and how are they related to me? And this explains it. So it's really fascinating. I've been really having some fun times learning who all was related to me through other people. Cool. But as far as building the tree part, it is so much easier with Ancestry. So much easier. And they have it built in so they can give you clues and information. I really like it. It's been easier to find all my relatives and then build the tree, which I've been having a lot of fun, as you can tell, building the tree. It's much more exciting and a lot more fun. But they both have pluses on both sides, so um, I think you should, venture out and see for yourself what you think. It depends on what you're looking for. Like the 23andMe with the health traits, I really was wanting to know some of that. And so, I mean, I'm sure that Ancestry has that too. I didn't buy that package when I first started. But anyway, that the DNA from testing the health was really a plus on 23andMe. But the whole searching of your ancestors is a big plus for me on Ancestry. So I hope that helps you, kind of get an idea of how this all works and what goes on. It's just fascinating. I'm really having fun learning about my heritage. I've learned so much stuff that I had no clue. And I guess, that's pretty much true for all of us. We have no clue until we get out there and we explore and find out and research. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed that. It was fun making it and so interesting. I'm learning more and more and more as I do the research and I learn more about who I am and my ancestors. So, anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Wake up and live. Have your adventures and enjoy your life because it's yours. All right. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.